Radha Shivasati Gobhakta Dekasena Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Eta Radha Shivasati Gobhakta Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gobhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gadadhar Sadi Gobhakta Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gobhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gobhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gobhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gobhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome again to another power-packed session, the second session of the 4th global online event celebrating the Living the Legacy 72nd Vyasa-puja Mahamahotsav of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Please accept my most humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas here on Zoom, YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us for another session. I see so many happy faces here. And yes, this is going to be another really sweet yet power-packed session. So Hare Krishna, I welcome you again. And we also welcome our dear His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Swami Maharaj. Maharaj, kindly accept my most respectful pranams unto your lotus feet. So it is only by the inspiration of Srila Gurudev that we have been able to conduct these global online events, and this is the 4th global online event. And by His causeless mercy, we are able to do some service for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas. So we would like to beg your permission to start today's session for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So yes, before we begin with the session, we would like to announce a few we'd like to make some few essential announcements. And for that, I would like to invite Yogini Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for all of you for joining today. And today we have some speakers who will make use of the language interpretation feature. So I will now explain in Portuguese how they can access the interpretation channels. Olá, queridos devotos, Hare Krishna, bom dia. Por favor, aceite minhas reverências. Para aqueles de vocês que querem ouvir a tradução simultânea em português, apenas estiverem no desktop, cliquem no globinho. Após esse anúncio, vai aparecer um globinho no canto inferior direito da tela, vai aparecer uma caixinha, vocês cliquem no canal português. E para aqueles que estão no celular, cliquem no ícone mais, depois no globinho, e depois cliquem em português e depois em Dani, vocês poderão ouvir a interpretação em português. Muito obrigada, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Moiti Abragada, and thank you, dear devotees. So before we announce today's schedule, you must be seeing pings from a chat, ask your servant. So ask your servant is your servant for this event, this session, where you can ask technical questions, or if you're having any difficulty or you want any links to different books or videos, whatever we are going to show here, and any difficulty, so that you don't feel any of the online clashes and have a smooth experience, please connect with Ask Your Servant for anything. And let us have the schedule for today on the screen. Yes, so we have another Power Pack session, and we'll be starting with Keeping the Inspiration, a talk by His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj to help us keep the inspiration, followed by a talk on the glory of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj by His Grace Anant Acharya Prabhu. Then we'll continue with the offerings by different devotees, and then we'll end with a very nice drama prepared by the Ghana Yatra. And not to mention, in between, as you would have seen in the last session, in between we have a lot of interactive sessions, interactive activities, just for your pleasure and spiritual advancement, right? So now we can, so since this is the 72nd Vyasa-puja Mahamotsav of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, we like to actually start with a video and instruction, a very powerful instruction from His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So let's hear that.
So Krishna consciousness is somewhat different in that it gives mankind the oldest spiritual scriptures on the entire planet. This can be historically, linguistically, philosophically proven. The Vedic scriptures are the oldest scriptures. And so therefore they help to make a person a better Christian, a better Muslim, a better Hindu. And when one becomes better, perfect, he no longer considers himself of any specific demarcated distinction, but he considers himself as a servant of God. When we look at the great scriptures of the world, we look at the Quran. Muhammad taught in 87:2 that of all the names, the most beautiful names belong to God, so call upon him by them. David taught in Psalms 113 that whoever calls on the name of God, he shall be saved. We find that in Romans it teaches that from the rising of the sun to the setting, one should call on God's name. Buddha taught in Amida Buddha that whoever calls on my name, he shall attain paradise. So this calling on God's name has tremendous effect in invoking the presence of the Lord, in invoking the mercy and the benediction of God. So we encourage you to come closer to find out how one can become in a state of consciousness where he is meditating, feeling the Lord's presence every day, where one is able to understand that this body is simply a garment, just as we change clothes from day to day, that the body is simply being used by the soul. If we develop that genuine understanding, then there is no difficulty in you having a white coat or he having a red coat or me having a black coat. These distinctions no longer become such a dominant factor in one's life. Once in Nairobi, one minister of the government came to visit us. And he said, Swamiji, so what can your society offer? So we were explaining about our Food for Life programs, how we're helping the poor, how we have schools, many projects that are going on all over the world. But I said, but let's be very immediate and specific. Let me take you on a small walk, very small temple. In 5 minutes, I said, so this boy is from Italy, this girl is from Spain, this person is from South Africa, white person, this black person is from South Africa, this person is from America. Says, now you tell me one place in Nairobi, one place in Kenya where you can say you have this kind of variegatedness and people are working together in a loving spirit. And he immediately could understand due to his knowledge of tribal problems, racial problems, etc. So we are showing what is possible. And we are humbly and submissively willing to offer that, to help to solve some of the seemingly unsolvable problems in this world. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Are we all not in love with that wonderful smile when he said that we are the servant of the Lord? It was amazing, an amazing solution. So we have Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj has a unique way of presenting, and he's giving the solution for all the racial problems and the diverse problem we have in the society. So moving on, we have a very special guest with us today, and actually there is no need for any introduction, but as is customary, I will say a few words for those who may not know about His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. So His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj has been in this movement since last more than 40 years. Hare Krishna Maharaj, kindly accept our respectful obeisances.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he has been in the movement since 40 plus years, and he has so many multiple contributions he has done over the period of so many years. So I'll list down a few. He started Yoga is Music in 2009, where they organized Kirtan concerts in 5 major cities in Germany. Then he's also a visiting faculty in the Bhaktivedanta College since last 10 years, Bhaktivedanta College, Belgium. He's a spiritual mentor to the Vedic Academy, which is in Kreslin, Germany. And this academy actually serves certificate courses on different Vedic sciences. Like Srila Prabhupada wanted us to, do different self-sufficient sciences and other Shastric sciences like Ayurveda, astrology, Vasati, and Sanskrit. He teaches regularly in VIHE from past 10 years. He's also an author of so many wonderful books on the holy name and the art of transformation in Krishna consciousness. The books are amazingly, deep with realization, and yet they can be applied practically immediately. So there are some wonderful books: Nam Rahasya, Nectarian Ocean of the Holy Name, Spiritual Tonic, wonderful books. And Maharaj also conducts spiritual retreats. He's known for giving an ecstatic experience of Krishna consciousness to the devotees. So for that, he regularly conducts spiritual retreats in places like Govardhan and Barsana. Some of you might have already been to Govardhan retreat. I have been to one, and it's a festival daily, like Srila Prabhupada wanted, daily festival in ISKCON. So these retreats are really ecstatic, and they really churn something within the heart so that you can appreciate more the Dham and the holy names. So with this, and he also, since Vrindavan is very dear to Maharaj, he has made a Braj Care Foundation, where they provide free medical services to sadhus, distribution of warm clothes, food relief programs, and feeding the homeless cows. So their motto is service first in the Braj Care Foundation. So it's really an honor, and we are really very grateful, Maharaj, that you have given your time for being with us and to give your association. So as is customary, we would like to welcome Maharaj with a virtual garland, and I'll invite His Grace, my God brother Jagan Nivas Prabhu, to kindly offer that garland.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Also, please accept these garlands from Shri Shri Radha Syama Sundar.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Wonderful.
So, Hare Krishna Maharaj. So yes, we are very eager to hear from you. The thirsty ears of devotees are waiting for your nectarian topic, the inspiration, right? Keeping the inspiration. Hare Krishna
Yes.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for welcoming me to this Zoom call. I consider it a great honor, but also a great opportunity for me to share what I saw in His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, and also share with you some ideas how you can keep the tremendous amount of spiritual inspiration which was flowing from him, like the Ganga which flows out of 𝐤𝐬𝐬 and then goes to the plains. Now, before I start, I just want to know, I got a virtual garland today from Radha Syam Sundar. Are these the deities in Vrindavan or the deities, which Radha Syam Sundar, please?
Yes, Maharaj. These are from Vrindavan.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. I think anyone who has been in the association of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj has received from him so much spiritual strength that he will treasure those moments. In our language, we call this inspiration. The spirit comes into you. In spirit, the inspiration comes to you, the spirit comes to you. And naturally the question is, how can we keep this strength, this inspiration, this enthusiasm alive? And yes, let me try to share with you some thoughts. But first, let me offer my obeisances. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Niveshesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Deshadarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Somehow I was fortunate that His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj considered me a close friend and shared many of his thoughts. In hindsight, I know that he considered many, if not the whole world, his close friend. So I can't claim any specialty, but I nevertheless am very happy to had such a relationship. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it is said that we become mindful of someone we love when we hear about him. This happened a few years ago with me. I became again very mindful of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. I was at a Pandavasena retreat in near London, England, and was delivering a seminar with various parts. And there were other seminar givers also, or lecture givers, amongst them Bhuta Bhavana. Perhaps you know, he's a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj in London now. And Bhuta Bhavana shared with all of us a quote which came from Maharaj, which immediately brought back to memory many of the times when I was happy to meet him. And I would like to share with you this quote. I will read it very slow because it is packed with a lot of information. If your desire to serve is beyond your capacity, but still you act without hesitation, that is the moment where empowerment happens. Let us unpack this statement. If your desire to serve is beyond your present capacity, in other words, you want to do something that is bigger than your own talents, your own intelligence, and your various strengths. But you don't become discouraged, but still act without hesitation. That's the moment when Krishna sees, wow, this devotee is very serious. He wants to do what ordinarily would be impossible for him or her. Let me help. And at that time, the empowerment is felt, and the devotee who acts beyond his capabilities will find that all of a sudden things become possible for him that were not possible before. When he asks, or she asks, the question, how is this happening? I can't do this. I'm not so intelligent, I'm not so capable. Then he has to conclude that this is because of the extraordinary strength of Guru and Krishna that was invested in me. Such a sentence can only come from an inspired personality who knows that impossible is a word that cannot be found in the dictionary of a spiritually intelligent person, because such a person will know, on my own, I'm unable to do certain things, but with the help and with the empowerment, it is well possible. I would like to share with you a few principles that were applied by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and which I saw with my eyes. First of all, I did meet him the first time in how do you call this town in English? Geneva. It's a town in Switzerland. They say Genève there. So he had visited our little castle by the lake as part of the Bhaktivedanta library party. They were going to universities and convincing librarians and professors to order sets of Srila Prabhupada's books, not only the published one, but also the ones which were yet to be published in the future. Maharaj was, I think, the really able to distribute a lot. So the party, the book distribution party, had come to our temple from where they would go to the universities and to academic institutions. So once in the morning, I clearly remember I had to visit the bathroom. It was maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. I passed a place, it was like a hall of the temple, in order to go to the bathroom. And there I saw Maharaj chanting. But my dear devotees, what type of chanting? I cannot forget. It is engraved in my memory. He was standing. He was facing a wall to, I guess, to get the echo of the sound. And he was chanting with his eyes closed in a totally absorbed way. Yes, his body was in Geneva, in our temple, in the hall where we received our guests. But really, his spirit, his mind, his whole persona was in the holy name. I developed so much respect by seeing him in a very private moment when he related or addressed Krishna in his in a very personal way. He reminded me of something I had heard about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The Thakur would sit early in the morning outside in a cement share. It was made from cement, bricks and cement. And he would chant, and his neighbor heard him chanting and said, it seemed he was calling for someone. So also when I saw Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj absorbed in the holy name like that, it seemed he was calling, he was addressing, he was in contact with someone. And I believe that's the strength of his empowered action, his empowered intelligence. He really called for Krishna in his private life, when he was not on the big stage, not talking to politicians like we saw in that beautiful video clip just now. He was talking to Krishna. He was communicating with Krishna, and from that divine connection he derived all his amazing enthusiasm, his amazing strength. Maharaj came a few times to a place in South France which the Swiss Yatra was operating. It was a big agricultural place where there were with the nice facilities for festivals, and we always did the Swiss summer camp, or Swiss summer retreat is maybe a better way to say it, at this place. So he would come also there. And I remember when I still didn't know him so well, he came and he brought a big drum, a drum which maybe is used by the shamans with him. And so we were doing an outside a kirtan. We had a lot of guests and friends. We were sitting around a big bonfire. It was the evening, and we were singing. And then I became aware that someone had entered this big assembly. Somehow you could not fail to notice His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. He came in really walking very enthusiastic, with strength and devotion, and just a personality from an inspired world. And I immediately stopped my kirtan and requested Maharaj to lead the kirtan. He was hesitant at the beginning, and then he chanted. Soon he was on his feet. He pulled this big round drum. I think you will have seen it. And he started to chant. And I still remember our guests were mainly from Switzerland, you know, kind of reserved, kind of Swiss, just Swiss. If you are from Europe, you know Swiss people are always a little, how would you say, call a little bit by themselves, maybe, or so. At least they did not, you know, it was an unusual sight to see someone at a meditative kirtan with a big drum and pounding on the drum, and then he started to dance, but within minutes, the whole assembly around the bonfire had become inspired. Let us remember the English word, the Latin word inspirare. That's where the English word comes from. Inspirare means to inhale breath, the breath of life, into someone or something, and then that someone or something which has now a new breath of life starts to act in extraordinary ways. So he was really breathing life in us. He was inspiring us in the true sense of the word, you know, where it comes from, the Latin origin of the word. And we were soon, dancing, and the devotees and guests and friends, it was a big assembly, left their Swiss reserve behind and were immediately very much responding. They were dancing like you don't believe a Swiss person can dance. I didn't need much encouragement. I like to dance with inspired dancers also, but this was really something I have never seen before. It was really something else. It was really very, very amazing. I was astonished. I'm still astonished. At that time, we started our walks. Whenever I met with Maharaj, we scheduled some personal time. Often when we walked, but also I visited him and we stayed in his room, as it was appropriate. You know, if there are no walking ways nearby, then you can't walk. So I remember two things he shared with me in this walk. One, both of them are very thought-provoking. he shared with me how he became convinced that Srila Prabhupada is his spiritual master. He had been a spiritual practitioner. He had learned from various spiritual traditions before, and he had met Prabhupada and his devotees. During this time, he became witness of a very unfortunate incident. There were some black devotees who wanted to open a preaching center in a part of New York where the black community lives. You will have to help me. Was it Harlem or I think Harlem. I'm not 100% sure. These devotees of black origin had addressed their plan to some devotees who were of the white color. And the devotees of the white color had made a disparaging comment. It's so painful for me that I will not repeat this comment which Maharaj heard. But a very, a comment where you think, my God, are they on the material platform? And this comment discouraged Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. He was a new devotee. He looked for a spiritually enlightened movement, but the fact that all the devotees could make a comment which showed that they had not really understood the spiritual philosophy, how the soul is free from from demarcated distinctions. This is a word which he used for this, where demarcated distinctions. You can look it up in the dictionary what it means. He thought, this is not a movement for me, and he went to Srila Prabhupada to say goodbye. So when Prabhupada heard why our Maharaj was disappointed, he could understand. It was very disappointing. And he said, they are nonsense. Who made this racial comment? They are nonsense. Listen to this. And you are also nonsense. They are nonsense because they are in Maya. And you are nonsense because you take their Maya so serious. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said to me, at this moment, I knew that he is my guru. Only the guru can speak so heavy and cut you from your previous thoughts. Wow. Then we continued to walk. And then the talk turned to where our movement is at the present moment. And at that time, there were some problems were there in ISKCON, which had been done by, which were caused by leaders. And then Maharaj told me something that I've never forget. He said, we must be in Krishna consciousness, not because of the facilities Krishna consciousness offers us. There are so many leaders who are not yet advanced devotees, but who have been given facilities, an office, certain privileges, certain, maybe a following, influence, dominion over vast amounts of Lakshmi. But unfortunately, their inner development has not yet been to the full satisfaction. And he said, there are many people in organizations who cling on to these organizations only because of the facilities which they get. But this is not the purpose. You know, it made me think very deeply about the essence of spiritual life, which is to develop a relationship, a loving relationship through our service to Sri Krishna. And when he discussed this, that why should we mistake the shadow with the essence, I became very, very thankful, because our discussion soon left the particular disturbance which was at that time in ISKCON. We talked in general about how easy it is to mistake the shadow which is caused by the essence, by the object, with the object. It was very, very, I thought, wow, here I have an essence seeker. That was very nice. I will share two more incidences so that you can see how an inspired leader speaks, how an inspired guru speaks. These are brief things which I noticed. Maharaj would come also frequently or regularly to Croatia. I was preaching at that time also in the Balkan areas, and Croatia is one small country in that huge area. And Maharaj would visit also the other countries in the Balkans. And it became clear to all of us, somehow Maharaj had a way to go to the politicians and to inspire them very deeply. I remember he could go where no one else of us could go, and leave sets of Prabhupada's books there, and leave the people with a call of action, actually, something which they did. A very influential speaker. So he just came, I can't remember very clearly, it was a gathering which the Indian consulate had organized, where the politicians of Croatia had come. And I must say, I was really, really appreciating Maharaj for the ability to go there and to leave the people with a message. We saw just moments ago this video, and remember, there were all these garlanded people. These were all high-ranked politicians. I recognized some of them. I think it must have been in South Africa, this gathering, because I think I recognized Buthelezi, the chief of the Zulu people, and also I think I remember I saw the former president of South Africa. There were really high-ranking politicians, and he did not speak vaguely. He talked about holy name, and we are soul, and we are part of God, and really the essential messages. So he had just come from another gathering like that, and we were doing Harinam, Sankirtan, on the streets of Croatia. So he joined us. He brought his big drum again. He pounded the rhythm of the drum, and there are beautiful video recordings of that Harinam where he danced in a very elegant and inspiring way. Now, what I want to show with this is his ability to inspire all types of people, like it is said in the prayers to the 6 Goswamis. They were inspiring to the saintly and the ruffians. So Maharaj had the way to go to the high-class ranking people, and then he went right with the Harinam party on the streets, passing pubs and all these things which you find on the street. I saw that in Russia as well. He would be in the morning with politicians, and in the afternoon he would be in these huge festivals and inspire the devotees like anything. So this is what I witnessed with my ears. Now, if you want to keep the inspiration which you have received from our Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, there are a few things which I would like to suggest. All these things, these points, I would like to share with you, rest on one principle. The principle is you must surround yourself with a culture of inspiration in order to be inspired. Think of it like botany. You have a good seed, let us say a mango seed. You need to now plant this seed into the right type of earth, which has minerals, salts, and various other nourishing ingredients in there. Only with the right type of earth will the seed be nourished and grow into a mango tree with delicious mango fruits. In the same way, you need to surround yourself with inspiring environment. Otherwise, your energies will be drained and your good intentions will be not more than pious dreams. They will not be fulfilled. Surround yourself with the right people. Create an intellectually stimulating niveau. Niveau means like atmosphere, by reading the right type of spiritual literature. Bhagavatam is is a must. See that in your life you have what they call in the desert, people call it oases, places where you can go when you are crossing the desert and you find fresh water, maybe sweet dates that grow on date trees. You find a good place to rest and can recharge. It's so important. If you wish to keep the inspiration, you need to have a nourishing and stimulating environment, and it's up to you to create this, where you have those things which can give you impulses, which can give you nourishment, which can give you strength, which can give you a vision, which can give you a mission, and so on. We are human beings. If we don't have a nourishing environment, it will be very difficult for us, very difficult to move on in our spiritual life. Therefore, I very much like this call. I would like to leave you with another idea. There is a lecture of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, which we could call the Awakening the Dead lecture. This is my title. It's not titled like that. You will not find it in internet. It's a lecture which Maharaj gave in Mayapur. I think he was there as a member of the GBC, and he gave one Bhagavatam lecture where he talked really about the essential principles of Krishna consciousness. I will listen to this lecture. I have listened to this lecture regularly. I like to listen to it again and again. But I would like to see, does anyone here know the lecture I'm referring to, and could they put it on the chat? If you don't know the lecture, I know that Bhuta Bhavana Prabhu, he has sent this lecture to me, and we can definitely request him to kindly give us the idea of this lecture. Let me see, I see something. No, these are devotees who entered the waiting room. Let us say Srila Bhakti, where he had the, here, I think protecting Srila Prabhupada's house is the name of the lecture. Thank you very much. Everyone note this down. You must listen to this lecture. It is amazing. Protecting, I'm writing it down, protecting Srila Prabhupada's house. Thank you. I'm also, yes. This is a lecture which will infuse you with the strength and inspiration you might want at this moment in your spiritual life. Keeping the inspiration is possible if we remain mindful of the person who inspires us, and that is possible if we have, if we do two things. We listen to what our Maharaj has said. We can read his books. We follow his teachings. One is of creating an environment in your life with friends, literature, activities, and so on. But now I want to close my lecture by giving you another tip how you can keep the inspiration. Please listen very carefully, because this point will most probably lead you out of your comfort zone if you follow it. There is a verse in the Bhakti Ratnaka which says, Bhakti belongs to each devotee. It's each devotee's personal treasure. However, it is often a hidden treasure. Bhakti, however, can be accessed by the devotee if he shares, if he helps other people to acquire it. You will see, when you want to keep the inspiration of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, become a preacher that shares bhakti. You may not be able to travel all around the world and give lectures all over the world. You can elevate people in your family, in your neighborhood, in your town, in your district, or in your country. And it is not very difficult. You just tell them what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, and that will be that will help you to really raise on the spiritual platform of deep inspirations. This is what I saw in Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj from the first moment where I saw him. He was in Geneva. We say here, Geneva. He was in Geneva as someone who shared Krishna consciousness with, I think he went to the UN. They have a huge, many buildings there and so on. I thank you very much for inviting me. I have gone 4 minutes over time. I apologize. I know you have a lot of other things on the program. I must say, before I leave you, I want to greet affectionately our Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj. I see you, Maharaj, in the pictures. It is my great pleasure to see you. Please be merciful to me. Shower your compassion on us. I want to say goodbye to all of you now. Param Gati, our host. I see so many nice. I'm just looking at the gallery here. Gora, wow, so many wonderful devotees. Valentina, Haribol, Gopikanta, Matsya Das, wow. Pavitra, I know you. Sanat Kumar, Jagannivas is here, Chandravali, Dhritravrata is here. Wow, Haridev Prabhu and Hari Prana, wonderful, my God, wonderful devotees. Saki Vrinda, Balabhadra Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Very, very nice. I see every one of you here. Modern technology makes it possible. Yeah, so many. I will not. Go Prabhu, Haribol, I remember you from Croatia. Fly away with me. Yes, we want to do that. So nice to see you. Yes, I will not. I should actually. This is a rare luxury. Let me get off the call. You have many more important things to do than listen to me being blissful to see the Vaishnavas. I thank you very much. I unfortunately have to go. I have today, what is it, 3 other preaching engagements. One is even a physical one in the town of Berlin. So I will have to run now. Thank you very much and have a wonderful conference and program. Hare Krishna, Haribo.
Thank you very much,
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Thank you. We are very happy to have you with us with your nectar. He didn't remember to mention Maharaj started the Mela, the Kirtan Mela. He's the director for Kirtan Mela, and had a retreat, had a retreat. All these are wonderful inspiration from His Holiness Sachinanda Maharaj. We are very grateful to have you with us. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. That that was such a wonderful, inspiring talk. He left us with 2 principles, amazing principles. And Ask Your Servant is kind enough to have put in those principles on the chat, and you can refer to that. And yeah, we saw how blissful Maharaj was at the end, and I was feeling so happy that he was so blissful in the association of devotees. So yes, so keeping this in mind, to have an inspiring association and inspiring environment, we move on to another inspiring session and another inspiring offering. And these are the offerings from the future of ISKCON. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj would say, children are the future, right? So now the next offering is from the little spiritual warriors from ISKCON Nairobi. Hare Krishna.
Shri Guru Charana Pradma Kevala Bhakti Sharma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sharma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bando Moe Sadama Mate Bando Moe Savadana Mate Yahara Prasade Bhai Ei Bhavatoriya Jai Yahara Prasade Bhai Ei Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Guru Mukha Pradma Vyakya Chitete Koriya Akhya Guru Mukha Pradma Vyakya Chitete Koriya Akhya Guru Mukha Pradma Vyakya Chitete Koriya Akhya Arana Koriya Mane Asha Arana Koriya Mane Asha Shri Guru Charana Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charana Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru जे प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा जे प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते आवे जावे प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते आवे जावे प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते आवे जावे नाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते आवे जावे नाश जाते वेद ज्ञान जहाँ रचरितो
Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu Lokera Jivana Lokera Jivana Lokera Jivana Lokera Jivana Prabhu Koro Doya Deo Moe Padachaya Prabhu Koro Doya Deo Moe Padachaya
Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Padachaya Ebe Jas Gushu Tribhuvana Ebe Jas Gushu Tribhuvana
Jaya Bhakti Tirtha Swami Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Bhakti Tirtha Swami Jaya Guru Deva
Bhakti Tirtha Swami Jaya Guru Deva Bhakti Tirtha Swami Jaya Guru
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol
Hari Hari Jai Shri Gurudev Jai Shri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki Jai. That was so the spiritual warriors just look little. They are not little spiritual warriors. They are big spiritual warriors. It was an amazing offering. I could see everyone was singing and dancing along with the children. It was really a wonderful offering. Thank you so much, ISKCON Nairobi and the spiritual warriors from ISKCON Nairobi. Thank you so much. Now we move on to our next guest. It's a special guest we have today, and he has been with us since the first online event we had. His Grace Anantacharya Prabhu. He's a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, and he was initiated in 1991, the first initiation in 1993. he got his second initiation. He has done some extensive services throughout these years, like preaching Krishna consciousness on the Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, welcome. So I'll just complete the introduction. So he currently is Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you.
You hear me?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. So I'm just saying a few words in your introduction, Prabhu, if that's okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, so Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think. Okay, so I will complete. So he's currently the temple president of Abayokuta Temple, Ogun State, Nigeria, in West Africa, and we are really grateful to have him with us again for his sweet pastimes on Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So, as is customary, we'll welcome him by offering a Maha Garland, and I would like to invite His Grace Nitai Chaitanya Prabhu for offering the Maha Garland to Anantacharya Prabhu.
Mute. Mute.
Hare Krishna, we can hear you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. And please accept this garland from our Shri Shri Radha Bihari Temple, Nairobi. Thank you.
Muted, Anantacharya, we muted. Yeah, muted, Prabhu. I don't hear you. Okay. All right.
First, I have to thank the devotee for bringing me here. I must say that I'm not so qualified to be in the midst of great devotees because I'm nervous seeing a great personality. What do I have to give? It's better we only beg all the devotees for their mercy so that I can speak from the heart. The little I know about Gurudev. Yes, sir. Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna Krishna Bhutale Sri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Eternam Namaste Krishna Prabhupada Sri Sri Guru Karnasati Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna Sri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Vani Nili Sesasri Namaste Krishna Vanchaka Pataro Vecha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patita Pavani Vyo Vaishnavi Vyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sri Guru Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. All glories to His Holiness, Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, on this auspicious day of his appearance day. First, I only beg for forgiveness as I have the basic prerequisite and the pedigree to talk about the glorious and quintessential activities of Gurudev Bhakti Tirtha Swami Krishna Bhatt. He was a special soul sent here for a specific assignment for the benefit of humanity. For the benefit of humanity, he was sent here, special soul. He is seen by great soul as the first Afro-American Vaishnava guru in the universe. Some see him as the greatest elocutionist. Yes, elocutionist. Dealing in the field of institutional and strategized communal settings. Yes. I mentioned elocutionist because he has a special way of talking, special way of preaching, beautiful accent, you know. Sometimes when he speaks, his activities, when he speaks, people are humble, marvel, calm, they want to listen. You see? He said there comes a time in every soul journey when he or she wakes up to the reality, waking to the reality of life. First, we should count ourselves very fortunate for having Gurudev. His emergence in this world is a glorious pride to all, especially the Africans, Afro-Americans, and the Caribbeans in the whole wide world. My meeting with Gurudev was very natural and spontaneous, very natural. Gurudev lived his entire life for God and humanity. He developed farm projects, cottage industries, schools, and temples in different parts of the world. He spent 80% of his active life in Africa for the African, and is loved extensively by world leaders, the academics, kings, and chiefs. The great service we owe him now is to protect his values and teaching, which are built around love, peace, unity, and truth, and community development. You see. So I will try to, because I've been asked 20 minutes, I will try to streamline all areas so that I can be able to touch on some other areas. You see, Gurudev, he was not an honorary personality. He was not an honorary personality. As I've said, it's a God sent. If you look at his antecedent, the way he performed his activities, the way he walk, you know, can anyone catch him? When Gurudev is on the move, you cannot catch him. It's always very fast. He moves swiftly. Yes, he moves with confidence. You see. Let me share one realization. There was one time, he came one time from Ghana, that to pass the road. Then we were all waiting for him. All the temple's leaders, they were all in the Lagos temple, waiting to welcome him. I think there was flight problem also, so he passed through the road. Tumultuous Kirtan. You know what I mean? Tumultuous Kirtan. Chanting, dancing. He has a style of dancing. His style. No one can copy him. No one can copy his style of dancing. So he was dancing. So all the devotees surrendered him. At that time, I was the temple commander in Lagos temple, the famous Lagos Ajao temple, where we were before. It's like a cathedral. It can accommodate people, 200 devotees at the below. So we were full chanting. So Gurudev was instructing me, telling me I should look down. So I was looking at him. What is Gurudev saying? What was he saying? So by the time I looked down, my wristwatch cut off already on the ground. I missed. The place was crowded. You know, so I'm just imagining, even a little bit dark. So Gurudev was very, very observant, very observant. He watches everything. How he could imagine that my wristwatch fell down. So I have to pick it. He was telling me several, giving me the sign. Yeah. And he was dancing. He was telling me. So by the time I look, I saw my wristwatch on the floor. I picked it. So this was Gurudev. This was Gurudev. Very observant. He always very careful. Another aspect again, whenever he visits, we are always very happy those days because we see it as an opportunity to visit media houses. We also see it as an opportunity to preach. Yes. Because Gurudev loved media preaching. So he came to the Lagos temple one time. I used to have friends in the media houses. So when Gurudev came, immediately I left. As the devotees were dancing, jubilating, I left. So I went to one of the media houses in Abeokuta, NTA Abeokuta. So I went there, I told the director, your friend is around. Because the way he preached, it's very appealing. People always feel satisfied when they listen to him, even if you are, how will I put it, if you are dogmatic or an atheistic person, you will be melted when you hear Gurudev's lecture. So the GM told me, General Manager, said, bring him, let's bring him, let him come. Those days there was no answer to call the temple. There's a situation now. Gurudev, we have arranged for a program for you at Abeokuta to come and preach. So I arrived Lagos. Abeokuta is just very close. So I arrived the temple when the lecture was going. Gurudev was giving lecture that evening. So as Gurudev saw me coming in, he said, Ananta, come in. Come and give your report. So I was wondering, did anybody inform Gurudev how I went or what? So I was back there. So in the presence of the devotees, everyone, I immediately disclosed to Gurudev my encounter with the NTA personnel that he has been asked to come to NTA to preach, to give some this television broadcast, So how did he know that I had something to say? This marveled me. How did he know? I did not inform anybody. Immediately he saw me coming in. He said, I'm not. So I was shocked. So immediately I gave the report. The next morning, Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Swami, then Parishit Prabhu, came to meet me in the ashram. The Gurudev said, he's leaving for Abeokuta very early tomorrow morning. He came to tell me. I said, He said, Gurudev said, arrange, I'm going to Abeokuta the next morning. You see? So Gurudev works in a mysterious way. It's not easily understood. You see? So eventually he came to Abeokuta. They hosted him. And one of the directors called Mrs. 𝐾𝐚𝐤𝐬, he told me, he came to meet me. He said, Nata, come. Do you know your guru recognized me when he came to preach in the university in Lagos, where I sat in the hall. Guru, she told me that Guru didn't mention the place. Yes. He said, Guru, they said, I saw you. You came with your friends. We cannot, the activities of Gurudev, so wonderful that we cannot comprehend. It's not easily understood by the ordinary mind. You see, he has a way, he is very, very observant, very, very observant. He watches everyone, everybody. Yes, Gurudev. You see, these are aspects of faith. You see, there was one time in Jos also, in Jos, the program in the University of Jos, I started it, the program in the University of Jos. I started the program. Was preaching to university students, the lecturers. They became so endeared to the temple. They were coming to the temple. The students were coming to the temple those days. There was one time Gurudev came. Gurudev was to come from, is it Kaduna also? Okay, I think Kaduna, yes, Kaduna. So we were waiting for Gurudev. Waiting, then I was also in the altar. I walk in the altar, also I go to preach outside. Upala also was outside trying to arrange. We were all waiting for Gurudev to come. The students also, they were all waiting doing their services. So Gurudev came late. So I now called Upala. I said, please, I want to greet the deity. What do I do? Gurudev has not come. We are waiting for Gurudev to come and then we greet the deity. He said, Upala said, okay, you can blow conch and greet the deity. You know one thing? Gurudev came below. He came to the temple. As I was blowing the conch, the Gurudev appeared. I was just looking. Open the altar, open the altar. So I opened the altar. Gurudev was chanting. And some of the students, they went to pick flower. So as they came, they also joined. The ceremony of bathing his feet, doing all these things. We are not there any longer because he was chanting. So it's wonderful. These are the mystical trace of Gurudev, very mystical, very mystical. Yes, he appeared. So that evening, he gave the class. So some professors, they went to see him, although they came late that night. As they were coming in, they were calling, Ananta, has the Guru come? We want to see the Guru. The lecturers, professors. So Gurudev already pulled off his dhoti. We were about to put him to rest. You know what Gurudev did? Gurudev said, set the temple hall, set everywhere. I'm coming out. He put on his dhoti, everything, and he hosted the professors. He met him. Oh, we have closed, no time. No, that was not Gurudev. He said, set the house and set everywhere. I'm coming now. I'm coming to meet them. So the prof, they were happy. That they were with Gurudev. You know, this is Krishna path. You see, his activities are so wonderful. When you follow it, you are always happy. You are pleased. Because everything about him is spiritual. Not like materialism or this. Everything about him. Have you ever sensed the Guru Maharaj aura when he comes in, when he dances? A beautiful, sweet aura. Very beautiful aura. This is Krishna path. Yes, it's Srila Krishna part. You see? I want to talk about the Palanquin experience. The Palanquin experience. Those days, Gurudev is the only person, Guru, came to Africa and he sat on the Palanquin for procession around Major Street. Major Street. Yes. This was a revolutionary feat because no one dares it, but Gurudev did it. Why did I mention that? Because the palace, the Benin Temple, those days that was the place he had the Palanquin procession. There are palaces around the Benin where the temple is. It's customarily no one sits on the Palanquin except the Oba, the king. But Gurudev did it, sat on it. The procession went round. If it's, Gurudev always like to exhibit the cultural aspect, the Vedic culture, the cultural aspect of devotional service. Right from old, the ancient days. So Gurudev applied all these techniques so that we can learn. Nobody dares it. Why am I saying nobody dares such thing? Because there are palaces around the place. There are cultural etiquettes, traditional etiquettes. You don't have to be on the Palanquin when the palace is there. The Gurudev sat on the Palanquin. Right. He is the only Guru that did it. And also he also had it in the Warri Temple. From the airport, he sat on the Palanquin to the temple, straight to the temple. Nobody questioned him. Nobody questioned him. Yes, do you know why? You know why? Because Gurudev is saying, not only that, his appearance, his physical appearance also. The skin, Africa, he also uses his mystical prowess to work in all these areas. You see. So it reminds me also of Malcolm X. When he visited the University of Ibadan, he was given the name Omowale, the son has returned home. Yes, the son returned home. The return of the son. That was the name they gave to Malcolm X. It's a Yoruba name. Yes. So similarly, people are satisfied when they see Gurudev anywhere he goes, any place he moves to. There's Srila Krishna part. He always have that revolutionary spirit. Devotional, let me put it, devotional, revolutionary spirit. Yes. Where he walked, where he preached. Yes. I mentioned the word elocutions. Yes. Elocution. It's a science. People that have the trace elocutionary spirit have also people like Booker T. Washington Jr. Booker T. Washington Jr., the greatest exponent of emancipation proclamation. Emancipation proclamation. Booker T. Washington Jr. You see? So these are the spirit of Gurudev, the spirit of Malcolm X. Malcolm X said, all blacks are angry. I'm the angriest. Yes. A few days ago, Vyasa-puja Swami was talking about Malcolm X. He said Gurudev has that spirit of Malcolm X, which is true. Was true, yes. He has that spirit of Malcolm X. Because Malcolm X stood for humanity, stood for the people. So this is the aspect of the Palanquin experience. And also, let me talk also about the coronation. Yeah. Gurudev was made a high chief high chief in Warri. That department is like next to the king in Delta State. So Gurudev, they were on the move on that very day of coronation. We were moving with the devotees inside the vehicle. You know what happened? There was a ghastly motor accident. Ghastly motor accident that took place. The vehicle damaged beyond recognition. But all the devotees came out of the vehicle unhurt. Yeah. He left our mother, Manduya Lila, was part of the devotees. Manduya Lila, Ima Vati also, and some other devotees. They were inside. So Gurudev had an accident. It was a ghastly motor accident. So when all lookers came, they said, oh, this is severe. Where are the passengers? Where are the passengers? They were looking around. Gurudev stood with the devotees. Gurudev stood with the devotees. On the normal circumstances, what are you supposed to do? You have to return back, go back to the temple, forget about the coronation also. But Gurudev went to the palace and he got coronated. Yet he's always moving forward. There's a spirit of revolution.
Hare Krishna. I think we have a connection problem. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Anantacharya Prabhu, for those wonderful pastimes. Hare Krishna. We are really grateful to hear these pastimes where Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, so royal, so bold, and get along. True glorification. Thank you so much, Prabhu. We are grateful. And so we, due to shortage of time, we move ahead with the quiz. Now it's the quiz time, right? As we have promised, there will be interactive activities. So now is the time for quiz on the life of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So before we have the quiz, I'll just list down some of the rules we have for the quiz. So just do some exercises with your fingers, because the winners are those who will do it fast and do it correctly, right? So you'll have the question on your screen, and then you will see a poll with the options, and you have to click the right option so that it is registered. The quiz is only for the Zoom members who have joined through Zoom. For YouTube and Facebook, they can still play. They can put their answers in the comment box, and there will be winners announced. So there will be 5 winners each for each session, right? So the winners will be announced at the last session, that is the 5th session, which will happen tomorrow evening time. We'll give the schedule when we end this session. So we'll have daily winners. The winners will be announced, and those winners, out of those winners, 5 winners will be chosen based on a lucky draw, right, on the 5th day. And there is a prize. No virtual prize this time. There is no virtual prize. There is a physical prize and a surprise prize that will come to your doorstep. No matter where you are, you will receive the prize. So please stay tuned till the last session for this. And now may I request to have the first question on the screen. Yes, so this is the first question. How many volumes of Spiritual Warrior, the book by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, have been published? The options are 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's see. So the polling will appear on your screen soon. Yes, I can see people are voting and it's going on. Wow, wonderful. The poll will not remain for a long time. Please do it quickly. Wow, we already have 76, 34. Nice. Yes. So, how many volumes of Spiritual Warrior book? This is the one of the first books brought out in multiple volumes, speaking about different aspects of Krishna consciousness, starting from not so Krishna consciousness to the Krishna consciousness. We're diving deeper, taking a non-devotee from not being in Krishna consciousness to the highest level of Krishna consciousness. So many wonderful concepts coming up. Yes. Yeah. The poll has ended. Let us have the answer. Now the answer is 6. So those who have voted for 6, answered 6, they will be part of the winner for this question 1. Let's move on to the question 2. So here is the question 2 on your screen. Which year did His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami became an initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada? It should be an easy answer if you were there in the first session yesterday. It was there in the movie. So it should be a fairly easy answer, but yes, the options are quite tricky. All are 1973. If you're thinking that he was initiated in 1973, you should look more closely. So here are your options, and the poll will appear soon on your screen. Option A, February 16, 1973. Second, December 03. 5th March, December 4th. Oh, yes, yes. So many answers. So, yeah, people are a little confused. Yeah, we can share the answer. And it's yes, it's the first one, A, February 16, 1973, when His Holiness was initiated as Ghanshyam Das, right? So next do we have another question? Oh yes, we have another question. It's a lucky day. So here is the question on your screen. Where is the Samadhi of Sripad Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj built? It can be a tricky question, so just read the options carefully. Where is the Samadhi of Sripad Bhakti Tirtha Swami built? Sridham Mayapur, Sridham Vrindavan, Sridham Gita Nagari, or Sridham Jagannath Puri? So all the dhamas, let's see all of you. Come on, vote it fast. Voting is going to close soon. Oh, I see a lot of votes on different options. There is a tie between two of the options. And rightly so. Yes, the poll has ended. Can we have the answer, please? Yes, so the Samadhi is in Gita Nagari. So many people have also voted on Mayapur. So Mayapur, we have the Pushpa Samadhi of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So yes, so thank you everyone who have participated so wholeheartedly to the quiz. It was really amazing, and the top 3 winners for each of the questions will be announced at the end of this session, and the winner who will get the prize will be announced in the 5th session. So stay tuned till the last session. You might be the lucky one.
The answer is Mayapur, not Gita Nagari. Gita Nagari is Pushpa. Gita Nagari is Pushpa Samadhi. There is Samadhi, yes, and where it is written Sripad is Mayapur, not Gita Nagari.
Okay.
Gita Nagari is not written Sripad. It is Bhakti Swami. Where it is written Sripad is Mayapur. And Mayapur is the real Samadhi. Gita Nagari is Pushpa Samadhi. So those who wrote Mayapur, they are correct.
Mayapur, yes.
And you see, this is the longest number, so they are correct.
We apologize for the mistake. And yes, so those who have selected Mayapur, they will be counted among the winners for the day. Thank you so much, Srila Gurudev, for correcting. Yes, so Mayapur is the correct answer for Samadhi, and it's the other way around. Pushpa Samadhi is in Gita Nagari. So yes, so thank you so much everyone for participating so wholeheartedly. And we will move on to our next. So since we had the last question about the Samadhi, so we will have live darshan from the Mayapur Samadhi, facilitated by His Grace Prannath Prabhu and his her wife, Her Grace Paritoshni Mataji. So Hare Krishna Prabhu, welcome.
Haribol,
Hare
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Is Haribol Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Hare Krishna. Blessings. Ganesham Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
My big brother is here.
Yes, yes,
big
yes.
brother.
We can see all of you together.
Yes. So, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, all Vaishnavas assembled. First of all, thank you very much for this wonderful program you are all doing. Yesterday, I was relishing pastimes with Kavichandra Maharaj, and also nice presentation from Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Maharaj. Just the timing for us in India is a little difficult, but these early sessions are very good for us. So since we don't have much time, I'll give a live darshan of Gurudev Samadhi, starting here. Jai Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki.
Yeah.
So as Maharaj already corrected, this is the actual Samadhi that Gurudev he wanted to be in Mayapur. So he planned for everything, even the vessel, the Kalash that Ganesham Prabhu was remembering me, that Gurudev he chose his own. He was he had everything in style, Gurudev. The way he dressed, even the way he left was all in style. So I'll just go around here a little bit around the Samadhi. I think most of you already know the Samadhi here. I'll go around, I'll do a short parikram around, so you can all have a parikram with us around Gurudev Samadhi. And here we also have Gaur Govinda Maharaj Samadhi, His Holiness Gaur Govinda Maharaj. There we have His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj Samadhi. Yeah. Then here His Holiness Tatpar Maharaj Samadhi. And here in the back, Sridhar Maharaj Samadhi. And then, yes, Ganesham Prabhu was reminding me that the new Samadhi here for Bhakti Char Maharaj. And of course, behind the trees here is Srila Prabhupada Samadhi. So just before getting into a little bit of the history of Gurudev Samadhi, sorry if the camera is trembling. Just to tell you that today I was talking with some members of the Mayapur Master Plan. That is the group that manage the plan of Mayapur, long plans for Mayapur, the structure and everything. And they told me that actually there will be no more Samadhis here. Only Jayapataka Maharaj Samadhi will be the only one here. All other Samadhis, they will be in Jagannath Mandir. So this will be the only Samadhis according to the master plan of Mayapur. They're going to make a garden, and the Samadhis, they will be part of the TOVP complex. So it still is not decided who will design the gardens here around the Samadhi, if it's the TOVP group or the master plan group. But either way, we are we are happy that Gurudev will be eternally here together with Srila Prabhupada Samadhi and the biggest temple in the world, the TOVP. So I would like to invite His Grace Ganesham Prabhu to share a little bit of the Samadhi. We actually, the Samadhi was inaugurated in 2006, as you can see here. This is Gurudev's birth, 1950. And this is Gurudev's departure, 2005. So the next year was the Samadhi installation. I had the opportunity to be here as well as His Grace Ganesham Prabhu. And then for the first years, there was a brahmachari disciple from Africa. I forgot his name. Maybe Maharaj, you remember his name. I know his sannyas name, but not his brahmachari name. I forgot.
Atreya Rishi Prabhu.
Ah, yes, Atreya Rishi Prabhu. We were trying to remember. He was a very fixed brahmachari. He was doing service here, and he was waiting in the sannyas list of ISKCON, but somehow was taking too long, and he took sannyas in a Gaudiya Math nearby. And
Oh,
then,
he was not in the list. He was not in the list.
Oh, he was not in the list, Maharaj? Okay.
No, he was never in the list.
Okay, sorry. So then after that, he went back to Africa and he disappeared. No one knows where did he go. Then after him, we had Baba Bhakti Mataji from South Africa. For a few years, she was taking care of the Samadhi here. And then Ganesham Prabhu and his good wife, they were taking care. So I'll ask Ganesham Prabhu to tell a little bit of his realizations, experiences, and memories. Haribo.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So, yeah, I mean, taking care of Gurudev Samadhi is such a wonderful service, though it has a lot of challenges as well. You know, throughout the year there is rains, cold, definitely tons of mosquitoes. You know, you're trying to, when you're trying to pick the flowers or sitting down to do the puja, but these are all wonderful things, because how Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in the service, if there are some challenges, it's only that is great happiness, this great source of happiness. And especially once in a year, not once a year, but every few years there's a flood, so that's even worse. During those times, we take Gurudev's picture and we worship him in our house. I did that one year. So that was the situation. Other than that, I was just talking to my dear God brother here, Pranath Prabhu. We have been struggling for many, many years to get rid of that tree behind Gurudev Samadhi, which was causing a lot of trouble.
Let me show them.
Yeah.
This big tree that Prabhu is talking about. This big tree here. Yeah.
And even I spoke to many Mayapur authorities requesting them to, cut the tree because its branches previously fell on the, on the dome itself and like that, and broke pieces over here, which really was a big problem. Anyway, so what it is amazing thing is, now today we come here and we see the tree is dying. I think it's dead. Looks like it's dead. So that's a wonderful news. Gurudev's mercy. And I am very much surprised. I'm actually very happy how the service right now is done excellently. As you can see, you look all the flower plants all around. Like all around, yeah, all around. As you can see, all the beautiful flower plants, all around the Samadhi. just beautifying the samadhi and the seva itself. You could see, like you can see how beautifully the Prabhus and the Matajis, they're doing this seva. I'm super happy also, and I come and I say, wow, they're doing so much better than I did. So Gurudev must be so pleased with them. And then, of course, Pranath Prabhu is the main force behind. He's encouraging and he's distributing the services to different devotees. Him and his family, they also did, right? For some time, you also did. Pranath Prabhu did. After me, Pranath Prabhu took over, and his wife and his mother and his daughter, the older daughter, they all, did the service for some time. So it was wonderful. And right now, this Hanuman Prabhu and his wife, and what?
My mother.
Yeah, and the other Mataji?
Vishaka.
Vishaka Mataji, right? She's mainly taking care of the decoration and all. So they're doing a wonderful job, wonderful service. Everybody's in Mayapur is commenting, and they are very, very, they're encouraged by their devotion and their caliber of service that they're doing. So, and right now we are preparing, we're in preparation of the Vyasa-puja festival, as you know, on the 10th of March. So actually today we are having a small meeting here, trying to organize all the different services and all, so yeah, basically. And so please bless us and pray for us that we could do this service nicely, especially the upcoming Vyasa-puja. And Maharaj, thank you so much for sending us because we're in kind of anxiety, how to do this festival without any Lakshmi. So you're always, just at the right time, you sent the Lakshmi, and we are all excited to do the, festival as we did before. And that's it. I guess probably you can speak if you want to. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
For those who don't know, then Ganesham, His Grace Ganesham Prabhu, he's from Mayapur Gurukul, the first Mayapur Gurukul here. His father is a Prabhupada disciple, very nice devotee, very nice Kirtaniya, his father. He's also a wonderful Kirtaniya. And he's a very senior disciple of Gurudev. And so then Ganesham Prabhu took care of the Samadhi. After him, me and my family for some years. Of course, Ganesham Prabhu was the one who was taking care of the Samadhi for the longer period since the Samadhi was installed. How many years? Maybe 5-6 years. But it was a long time. And then me and my family, we were taking care. And now Hanuman Prabhu from Ivory Coast and the wife Vishaka Mataji, I requested them to be here, but they are very shy, both of them, especially Vishaka Mataji. So they didn't come. But you can
not
see
Vishaka, her name is not Vishaka, it's Vivasha Mutaji, not Vishaka.
What, Maharaj?
Vivasha Mutaji.
Oh, sorry. So then they are taking care of the Samadhi. And as you can see, it's very beautiful. And there's also one Mataji, I don't know her name, from Kazakhstan. She's not a disciple of Gurudev, but she's running helping Radhanath Maharaj, no? She's helping running the iFast for the Russian-speaking countries, the Institute for Applied Spiritual Technology. So she's also giving this beautiful touch. All these flowers is the most decorated Samadhi. And as you can see that the mercy of Gurudev manifests through his mood manifests through the service at the Samadhi. We were discussing with Ganesham Prabhu like how Gaur Govinda Maharaj Samadhi is being worshipped in the same mood as Gaur Govinda Maharaj. Gaur Govinda Maharaj was always extremely sweet and extremely strict also in the Siddhanta and everything. And since the Samadhi was installed in 97, I think, the same brahmacharis are taking care. They're very strict, pakka, and they're very sweet, very sweet. Bhagavan Prabhu, who is doing the service in the morning, Suprasad Prabhu, who is doing the service in the evening, very sweet, but the same person doing the Samadhi Seva all these years. And Gurudev is also manifested in a different way, very diverse way. Devotees from different continents, they were taking care of the Samadhi. They were doing the worshiping and managing. So we can see both men and women, they were taking care. So we have this feminine touch, all these beautiful flowers and everything, so beautiful. Anyway, that was just a brief presentation. We're very happy, also very thankful that Maharaj engaged us in this service, and that if we were not Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Maharaj, I don't know how we would be maintaining the Samadhi, because he's the one that fundraises for the Samadhi, for the yearly expenses. And also from Gurudev's books, we get some income also to maintain the Samadhi. And of course, when I say Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Maharaj, I mean all his entourage, all his disciples, all his well-wishers that they help supporting. Sometimes devotees, they just send me a message. I don't even know them. And they send them, I'm sending some donation for the Samadhi. We are all very grateful that we can keep this service. And we pray that all of you, please bless us so we can keep this service going on. Yeah, and the future generations will keep this service for centuries to come, as this Mayapur Dham is eternal. And this just a final glimpse of my family is here. My wife is here. Our daughter Saki Vrinda, they are here. The small girls, one is hiding. They also help taking care of the Samadhi. My wife, she whenever someone is sick, someone can't come, then she's the one coming. And substitute Pujari. And Saki Vrinda, who is here, she was for some years also coming every morning in the cold, early morning, the cold, in the summer, in the rainy season, full of mosquitoes, but she was fixed doing the service. And I'm very happy and pleased that since I know the Samadhi, there's no jealousy among the disciples. It's a very nice mood of cooperation. And everyone is happily helping and sharing the service. And whomever, even the Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Maharaj disciples like Saki Vrinda, my mother is also a disciple of Maharaj. So anyone who comes to Mayapur and wants to do service for Maharaj, please inform us. You are most welcome. The service is for everyone, as Gurudev is for everyone. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, my daughter also said that sometimes she comes to sweep the Samadhi also, to clean.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Haribol, Haribol. Please, Maharaj, bless us and come quickly to Mayapur. Parikram will not be the same without you, Maharaj. Please come.
We are coming. Thank you.
He'll try.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the wonderful darshan and the wonderful information of all the devotees serving there, and with such wonderful mood. You all are serving in Mayapur, and we pray, actually you should pray for us that we can come to Mayapur and not just take virtual darshan, but actually do a physical parikrama there in Mayapur and help serve in the Samadhi. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for this wonderful presentation. Hare Krishna. So now we quickly move on to the next section. So we have a wonderful video offering from the devotees in Brazil. Since Prabhu was talking about Mayapur and he was talking about 𝐒𝐤𝐳𝐿 Swami Maharaj, who is from Odisha, that is Jagannath Puri. So this offering is also related to Jagannath Puri, which is lovingly prepared by Her Grace Gopikanta Mataji and her entourage. They call themselves Loshapatis Music Group. So please enjoy the video offering from them. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. This is such a wonderful offering, such a beautiful musical offering with amazing kirtan footages of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. I'm sure everyone has enjoyed, and few were dancing. I could see it in the gallery. So amazing. So now we move on to the offerings of other devotees, and to do that, I would like to invite my dear God sister Hari Pran Priya Mataji from Nairobi to take on the floor. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for this service opportunity. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. You're all most welcome to the 72nd Global Online Vyasa-puja celebrations of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj once again. I hope so far you're enjoying and feeling very, very inspired by Maharaj. So next we'll move on to the offerings from different devotees around the world. First we have His Grace Yadunath Das. Yadunath Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. He is the temple president of Banyan City Temple and actual National Council chairman. We welcome you, Prabhu, to give your offering. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, all glories to His Holiness Srila Bhakti Damodara Goswami Maharaj. All glories to our beloved Gurudev, His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. First of all, I want to appreciate the brains behind this Vyasa-puja, and I want to, from the innermost part of my heart, appreciate His Holiness Srila Bhakti Damodara Goswami Maharaj for always being there for us and for the wonderful team who are working tirelessly to see that all these wonderful activities keep going on. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhaktale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Tinamini. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupadaya Shatatanami Sri Guru Karuna Sakti Bhakti Tinamini. His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Dear Srila Gurudev, on this most auspicious day of the celebration of your divine Vyasa-puja, I want to first appreciate Srila Prabhupada for the benevolence of compassionately giving you to us as the solace for the heart in this difficult time. I want to use today to reflect on some of the wonderful activities and teachings of His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj wrote a book, and he titled this book Reflection, which means to me that our life should be a life of reflection. We should reflect on the activities, pastimes of the pure devotees and their teachings. So there are so many things that I will want to reflect on as they have to do with the personality of His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Guru Maharaj and his teachings. His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Guru Maharaj wrote a book, or series of books, and he titled it Spiritual Warrior. And Spiritual Warrior 2 is titled Transforming Lust into Love. According to Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, it is mentioned that the most devouring sinful enemy of this world is lust. But in His benevolence and kindness and mercifulness, His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Guru Maharaj has kindly helped us to profess solution on how to go about lust and how we can convert or transform this lust into love so that we can become happy in our Krishna consciousness. Therefore, I pray fervently to His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj that He touch me with His lotus smile and His blessings, that I be able to take proper advantage of this book and better my devotional life and transform my lust into love. In several portions of Gurudev's teachings, he mentioned that we should walk our talks. So we have many occasions we have given the opportunity to speak something on Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam itself explained that a person who is not spotless should not speak about Bhagavatam. But we are just doing this as a service. And since we are talking, our talking also is going to be used as judgment against us. Therefore, I pray fervently to Guru Maharaj that he bless me, that I be able to walk my talks. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj spoke elaborately on leadership, and he visited so many leaders of the world and helping them to solve problems that have to do with leadership. And of course, he wrote a book entitled it Leadership for an Age of Higher Consciousness, Volume 1 and Volume 2, as much as I know. And some of the things he mentioned about leadership is that a leader should love people and use things. We see today in the material world, leaders love things and use people. But in his compassion and benevolence, he explained that we should love people and use things. In this book, he also mentioned that a leader should be simple and firm. So we should be simple, that people don't become scared of the leaders, but at the same time, we should be firm so that we don't encourage deviations. So we have been giving some service to serve as a temple president or whatever capacity we are serving. I want to also pray that Guru Maharaj blesses my heart, bless my being, bless my person, so that I'm able to take proper advantage of this and become a better person. In his teaching, he also mentioned that the whole world is going crazy and people are happy living a normal life. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj explained that we should avoid the danger of being normal, because those who are normal, they are living in an insane world. So there's a lot of crazy mentality, crazy things going in this material world. People just want to be normal. But Guru Maharaj has advised, he has taught that we should avoid this danger. It's a great danger. Therefore, I pray to his benevolence with us feet, that he blesses me and touch my heart so that I don't live a materially normal life, but rather I should live spiritual life. I want to appreciate Guru Maharaj for his benevolence, his kindness upon my family, starting from my own biological father, late Indrajumina Prabhu. Slakashnapad Guru Maharaj is so kind and is very mystical that just upon seeing you is able to understand the heart. On one occasion, my father told me that he went to Guru Maharaj and immediately he said, yes, Indrajumina Prabhu, you are a carpenter, you are doing furniture, so you should design the altar for the yatras in Nigeria. So my father has never seen an altar before. He has never been to India before. He does not know Vedic craftsmanship. But then he just accepted, not because he could do it, but because he cannot say no to the spiritual master. So he went downstairs and he was deliberating what to do, how to start. And then Guru Dev just came downstairs, went straight into his ashram and said, Indrajumina Prabhu, you are here? He said, yes, Guru Dev. And he handed over to him a picture and he said to him, Indrajumina, you can do it. I see you doing it. And I want to pray that that same kind of empowerment that he gave to my father, that enables him to construct almost all the altars we have here in Nigeria, he should give me that much empowerment so that I'll be able to do beyond what I think that I can do. In the same spiritual warrior too, Guru Maharaj wrote that in this world we are starving for love. It's titled The School of Love. And he said, in this school of love, people are starving for love. And my biological mother doesn't like devotees so much, but she categorically and especially loved one person. And he will always say, I don't see you people, but I see Guru. So that's the way she calls him. I see Guru because Guru is very magnetic. Guru is very dynamic. Guru is very loving, is very compassionate, is very friendly to everyone. And therefore, I will always want to see him. The day my mother heard that Guru Dev left the physical planet, she shed tears. and she said to us that we should always reflect in his smiling face, and we should see that he is always with us. I was shocked because my mother is not a devotee, but she was able to speak like that about Gurudev. So I want to pray to Gurudev that he touches my heart, he blesses me, that I should be infested with that virus of love with which he infested the whole world. Wherever you go to, if you meet even karmis, those who are not devotees, who have seen Srila Krishna His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj on television, they are so happy to hear the name, they are so happy to meet him. And those who are able to see his book, just by touching the books, they are very, very happy. When Anantacharya Prabhu was speaking, he mentioned that Gurudev is able to read the heart. It's very mystical. Personally, I didn't have too much direct encounter with Gurudev, but then I remember there was a day here in Benin Temple. I was still very young. So I went to him in the ashram. There was a particular matter that was disturbing my heart, and I felt I should relate it to him. So I offered my obeisances, and as I stood up and I said, Hare Krishna Gurudev, he said, yes, I know. That is why I'm praying for you. I was unable to, I couldn't even say anything again. I was so touched. How did he know? And one time here in Benin Temple, many years in the past, Gurudev just came from the airport. He came into the ashram and he just counted 2-3 devotees, and he asked them, you go upstairs, go and search the Mataji's ashram. We were shocked what the devotees came with. And we begin to imagine how he knew that substance like that were somewhere in the temple. So Guru is not just an ordinary person, just like the scripture says. They are like they possess 3 Kalagyan. They can see present, they can see the past, they can also see the future. So I pray to Guru Maharaj on this day that should bless me, that I'm able to separate Nishians from Bhakti. And of course, His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj, he was always very dynamic in his preaching, which today the greatest preachers in ISKCON, they are using his materials and they are taking inspiration from his teaching exploits and his Sankirtan exploit also. In Africa, people are not very used to Krishna consciousness. They are more into Christianity, which means that a lot of preaching is required here. So I pray to Guru Maharaj to touch my heart, to bless me, that I be able to be an instrument in this preaching mission. His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj, he met my grandmother when she was alive. She had only one desire, and that was the desire to come to the temple. And she mentioned to us that she will not leave the body until she comes to the temple. But Gurudev was so benevolent, so kind, that the only one time she came to the temple, Gurudev was merciful enough to give her his darshan. And it was a shock to all of us when she returned from that trip, not up to a month, not a long time, she left her body. So this is to say that Gurudev was compassionate on her and he blesses her. So we pray that the mercy of Gurudev continue to remain with us. Now we have been doing some service which we don't consider that we are doing enough. So from the innermost part of my heart, I want to pray to Gurudev that it purifies my thoughts, because he said in his writing, what your thoughts, they becomes your words. What your words, they become your action. What your action, it becomes your character. It becomes your character. What your character, it becomes your nature. So I pray to Gurudev on this special occasion, on this day, that he blesses my thoughts. He helps me to watch my thoughts so that I don't think of those things that will affect me negatively. Rather, I should be able to meditate positively on his divine teachings and his pastime, so that I'm able to develop and imbibe a positive nature that will keep me in Krishna consciousness. I want to specifically and categorically appreciate His Holiness the Bhakti Swami Maharaj on this day, because in the Bible, when Jesus Christ was living, he promised that he was going to send a Messiah. But before His Holiness the Bhakti Swami Maharaj left this physical planet, he gave us a Messiah. And he mentioned that those who truly love him will see him in the personality of this Messiah which is given. And that is the person of His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So I want to appreciate, because Gurudev also mentioned that we lack the attitude of gratitude. So I want to pray to him to bless me, that I begin to imbibe this divine quality of being grateful. And of course, I know very well that if I'm truly grateful to Guru Maharaj, then I will take up preaching mission very seriously. So I want to appreciate him conclusively for giving us the personality of His Holiness, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Goswami Maharaj, to continue carrying us and dragging us along. And I pray that he blesses my heart so that I will be a useful instrument in supporting and partaking in the preaching activity of His Holiness Srila Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Goswami Maharaj. His Holiness Srila Bhakti Swami Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Yadinath Prabhu, for your beautiful offering and highlighting the different wonderful qualities His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami had. Moving on, and now we are going to be watching a video about the Spiritual Warrior series that His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami had written. So enjoy the video.
The Spiritual Warrior series contains all the knowledge, reflections, and insights presented in both practical and philosophical ways for the reader to become an authentic spiritual warrior, a person who lives his life aiming to conquer his inner enemies in order to pursue his authentic journey as a spiritual soul. These books are for the interest of both neophyte spiritual seekers and experienced practitioners of spirituality. The Spiritual Warrior series is divided into 6 books. Spiritual Warrior 1: Uncovering Spiritual Truth in Psychic Phenomena. Spiritual Warrior 2: Transforming Lust into Love. Spiritual Warrior 3: Solace for the Heart in Difficult Times. Spiritual Warrior 4: Conquering the Enemies of the Mind. Spiritual Warrior 5: Making your mind your best friend. And Spiritual Warrior 6: Beyond Fanatism, Terrorism, and War, Discover the Peace Solution.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful video. If any of you would like to buy these books, they're available online. You can check on the chat box from Ask Your Servant to get the link to purchase these books. And next on, we'll be moving on to the offerings again. We have His Grace Hari Devadas. His Grace Hari Dev Prabhu was introduced to Krishna consciousness in Mauritius in the early 1980s. He's an engineer by profession. He pioneered the Food for Life program in Mozambique. In Mauritius, he took part in book distribution before joining the ISKCON Phoenix management, where he served as a temple president from the year 2008 to 2013. He's currently the zonal supervisor for the island. He also engages in online preaching and teaches a number of courses for the congregation. We welcome you, Prabhu, to share your offering with all of us. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Hare Krishna to all the devotees. My humble obeisances to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Maharaj. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Tirtha Swami Nityanamine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shinivadi Paschatya Disadarine. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj ki jai. Dear Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your wonderful service to Srila Prabhupada. A few days ago, I was reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita and came across this sentence by Srila Prabhupada in chapter 9, text 3. I quote, "Thus faith is a most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness." So as an offering to you, dear Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, I would like to discuss this point of faith a little bit. First of all, Dhruva Maharaj, he had faith in the words of his mother, who was his Vartaman Pradaksha Guru. and as a result, he proceeded to the forest where he met his spiritual master, Narad Muni. He executed devotional service under his authority without caring for bodily inconveniences, and consequently, he met the Lord face to face. Prahlad Maharaj heard from his spiritual master while in the womb of his mother. He became such a great devotee of the Lord, had so much faith, that he was completely fearless while his father tried to murder him in so many ways. He remained fixed in the remembrance of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada had similar firm faith in the order of his spiritual master, and the result is history. He accomplished the formidable task of establishing Krishna consciousness worldwide, fulfilling the prophecy of Lord Chaitanya. His own god brothers never understood how could that prophecy become a reality. And your good self, Maharaj, are the epitome of a contemporary success story of faith in the spiritual master. You understood the heart and desire of Srila Prabhupada. You perfectly imbibed Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission. You had so much deep faith in his order that his disciples should help him. You had so much deep faith in his order that his disciples should help him distribute his books and spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world, that you did not hesitate to risk your life in going to communist countries at the time where religious propaganda was a severely reprehensible activity. And it is said that you would be visible to the police as a fly in milk. Yet your determination was unwavering. You were so successful in distributing books to the universities in the communist countries that Srila Prabhupada gave personal recognition to your Guru Seva. That is the perfection of life. Your serious disciples have also imbibed this same fearless mood of preaching, ready to go out of their comfort zones to preach and spread Krishna consciousness. And on this most auspicious day of your Vyasa-puja, I humbly beg, O most powerful Vaishnav, dear most disciple of Srila Prabhupada, kindly allow this insignificant soul to also somehow or the other become fixed in executing the order of Guru and Gauranga. Your servant, Haridev Das. Hare Krishna. And thank you so much for the opportunity to the organizers in allowing me to say a few words in appreciation of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, to whom I am personally so much indebted. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your beautiful offering. Thank you for highlighting the point that our spiritual master is very, very important. Without him, we are nothing. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Now, moving forward, we'd like to invite Her Grace Yashoda Mai Mataji. She's from the USA, and she's a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. And she would like to share about a book project that she's been working on. So, Mataji, please welcome and present. Thank you.
Haribol Prabhu, thank you for the offer, but I'm going to be presenting at the end of Mother Vraja Lila's program tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Then we'll see you tomorrow. Moving forward, we now have a wonderful drama presentation by the Ghanaian devotees on the topic 𝐂𝐤𝐬𝐿 and 𝐸𝐸𝐴. So enjoy the drama. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Once upon a time, there lived a sage called 𝐸𝐬𝐿. He had a disciple known as 𝐸𝐸𝐴. 𝐸𝐸𝐴 was a good disciple, but one day his spiritual master realized something about him. Concerned enough, he decided to confront him about it.
𝐸𝐸𝐴, yes, good. I can see you are growing so plump. Oh child, how do you support yourself?
This good day, I support myself by begging.
Begging?
Yes, please.
Whatever you beg must be offered to the Guru. So since whatever you beg from now, you must bring it to me.
The Guru Maharaj, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
No. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
As an obedient disciple, 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻 enthusiastically obeyed his guru's instructions. However, some days passed, yet Sage Domya had still noticed something interesting about 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻.
I still see that you are going. Come on. You are going fast. How do you support yourself again?
Gurudev, please, after I hand over all my arms to you, I go for a second round of begging.
What? You go for a second round?
Yes, please.
No, a disciple must not do that. Whenever you go for a second round, you deprive other sages and their disciples from getting alms. Not only do you deprive your other sages and other disciples, but you also develop an attitude or a character of greedy. That is a bad quality. So please, you must stop begging for second alms.
Thank you, Gurudev, for correcting me.
𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻 did not argue back. Neither did he question his guru. If I do not beg for second time, how am I going to eat? And if I do not eat, how will I remain healthy enough to continue my services to you? As a submissive disciple, he simply agreed.
The cows are really now producing nice milk. Wow, very tasty. Let me drink more. If I can still get more, I can drink it all. But it's getting late. Let me go and pluck flowers my Gurudev.
A couple of days later, Domya again called 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻.
𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻?
Please accept my humble obeisance.
Accept your greetings. Oh, child. I still don't know how you still grow fat. You have not grown an 18-inch. You have not reduced a bit. I'm surprised. Oh, child. How do you still support yourself again?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. It's because I drink the milk of the cows I take for headache.
Oh! You are drinking the cow milk?
Yes, please.
Which has not been first offered to Krishna. You should never do that again. You are not only eating boga, but also you are depriving the cows from getting satisfaction. You are reducing their intake. So you are not helping the calves to grow mature in fat. So never take the cow's milk. The cow's milk are meant for the calves. They are supposed to breastfeed more from their mother cow. So don't do that again.
Okay, Guru Maharaj, thank you very much for correcting me.
A few more days passed, and 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻 remained similarly fat. The story becomes more and more interesting. In this way, the great sage very strictly tested the faith of his disciple 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻. Being sincere, he obeyed his spiritual master again.
Why do I feel so weak today?
Deprived of food, 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻 had to endure bouts of hunger. One day, he could no longer control himself, and in the rush of the moment, without being thoughtful enough, he plucked leaves from a poisonous acar forest plant and ate it. Soon after, he lost his eyesight. Wandering blindly and struggling to find his way back to the ashram, he fell into a deep, dark pit.
What's happening to my eyes? I can't see, oh. I can't see. What's happening? I can't see. What's happening? Help me, oh. Please help me. I can't see my eyes. Something is happening to my eyes. I can't see. I can't see. Please help me.
There, at the ashram, Domya became worried. He was very late.
Where is 𝐸𝐵𝐴𝐻?
He went to the forest.
And he hasn't returned yet.
Really? But it's getting dark. At this time, I hope there's no problem.
Night was descending, and 𝐸𝐸 had not yet returned. Being very anxious about the safety of his disciple, Domya could not rest well. Though he was strict with 𝐸𝐸, he cared for him and was his genuine well-wisher. The next morning, early in the morning, Domya with some of his other disciples went to the forest in search of his dear disciple.
Oh, child, 𝐸𝐸, how did this happen to you?
Oh, Gurudev, please forgive me. Whilst I was in the forest yesterday, I couldn't bear the hunger, so I decided to take some fresh leaves and eat. And unfortunately, the leaves I picked to eat was the poisonous acar fruit. So when I ate it, I became blind and fell into a pit. Please forgive me, Gurudev.
I pity you. I'm sorry for what happened to you. Okay, take this mantra, recite it, and the Ashwini Kumaras will appear to help you out.
Thank you very much.
When 𝐸𝐸 chanted the mantras and offered prayers from the Rig Veda, both the demigods, being pleased with him at once, appeared.
Because I disobeyed my guru, I have become blind. My guru, by his mercy, gave me this mantra to call you so that you may heal me.
My dear 𝐸𝐸, worry no more.
Oh, my dear child, please take this cake, which have been blessed by us, and then your blindness will surely be healed.
Oh, thank you very much, Ashwini Kumaras. I'm really grateful.
My dear 𝐸𝐸, why are you not eating the cake?
I'm not eating the cake because I have to first offer it to my spiritual master.
Oh, my dear child, why not? Some years ago, your spiritual master invoked our presence.
Yes. And do you know what your spiritual master did? He ate the cake. So you being a true disciple, go on and eat it.
Oh, my dear sir, I can't eat this cake because everything I eat, I have to offer it first to my spiritual master, and before that, and after that, I take the remnant of my spiritual master. And as the duty of a disciple is that you have to take the instructions of the spiritual master seriously and strictly, and that is what I'm doing. And because of that, I can't eat this cake unless I offer it to my spiritual master.
Very well, my child. You have indeed passed the test. We bless you that you may be a very powerful and bona fide disciple. May all good fortune
be unto you.
Whoa, wow! I've regained my sight. I can see. This is the tree. Oh, wow, thank the Ashwini Kumaras. Oh, thank you very much, Gurudev. I'm really grateful. Oh, thank you.
In this way, not only did 𝐸𝐸 regain his eyesight, but he also received the heartfelt blessings from his spiritual master for his loyalty towards him and for passing the difficult test of the Kumaras.
Dear Gurudev, please kindly accept my humble obeisance. By your blessings and the blessings of the Ashwini Kumaras, I've regained my sight. Thank you very much, Gurudev.
Giant, very low.
Gurudev, I received this from the Ashwini Kumaras, and I can see it's my duty to offer everything I get from to the Guru so that the Guru can bless it for me.
Dear child, you have successfully passed the test. This is how every disciple must be obedient. Tests are bound to shape the disciple well. All these things were your test. It was not just for you to develop some quality and a good behavior and a good attitude. So you must all learn from this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But share among your friends.
𝐸𝐴𝐻 was seriously tested. He accepted the strict discipline of his guru, and sincerely, he faithfully, with one-pointed determination, continued to serve without any reservations. Hopefully, a lot have been learned and will be practiced. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, may we all become as disciplined as 𝐸𝐴𝐻. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. A wonderful effort by the Ghanaian devotees. It was a very, very nice drama by all of you. Thank you so much for inspiring us and making us learn so many things. It's also very important for all of us to follow our spiritual master's instructions very carefully so that we can always be successful and pass all the different tests that we have. Thank you so much again. Next, we'll move on to the most awaited time, the time of the results of the quiz. You're all excited? So, the winners of the quiz are as follows. For question number 1, on the 3rd place, we have Her Grace Yashoda Mai Mensa. On the 2nd position, we have Nisha Sharma. And on the 1st position, we have Radha Madhav Das. Haribol, congratulations to all of you. Next question, question number 2. 3rd position is Nisha Sharma. 2nd position is Bhaktinvanshika Mehta. And 1st position is Praveen Kumar Kilaka. Congratulations to all of you. Next, 3rd question. We have on the 3rd position, we have Nisha Sharma. 2nd position, we have Ananda Vrindavan Dasi. And on 1st position, we have Bhaktinvanshika Mehta. So congratulations to all you winners. The final list of winners will be announced during the 5th session, where 5 winners will be chosen randomly. So stay tuned and enjoy the forthcoming quizzes. Thank you all so much. Next, we are going to move on to the schedule for the next session this afternoon. So first, we have the offering of His Holiness 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐭𝐢 Swami on the topic, the basis of Sri Chaitanya's mission. Then we have a talk by His Holiness Radhanath Swami. And finally, we have a song offering by Sita Mataji. And in between, we will have also interactive quizzes and videos. So stay tuned to enjoy. And please, please don't miss this session in the afternoon, because it's a very, very special session, because His Holiness 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐭𝐢 Swami and His Holiness Radhanath Swami are very, very special friends who are very dear to our dearest Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So please don't miss out on this session. Thank you. And next, now to conclude our session, we are going to have a video by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj on the topic, leaders should be coordinators of love. Enjoy.
The amount of people who are suffering now because of sexual abuse, who cannot have healthy sexual relationships, in some cases for the rest of their lives. People who have terrible migraine headaches, who are wetting the beds, even they're adults, who are constantly in fear, even when they're just touched by someone, just from the back. And in some cases, their lives will never be so-called normal, particularly due to being abused by those who they gave their greatest attention and love and devotion to, and those who they considered would protect them from others who would abuse or misuse them. And this is happening. Most of these leaders I read were spiritual leaders who engaged in deviant activity. And their marks will last, in some cases, for many generations. Now, on a positive note, if we avoid, and we'll come back to that a little later, but if we are looking as being the caretakers of those who we take charge of, then we will not be so quick to claim ownership. When we claim ownership, then we think that whatever we do with what we own is simply our own prerogative. And therefore, if we want to play funny games, we feel justified. But if we see in whatever leadership, whether it's political, social, cultural, or religious, but if the leader sees him or herself as being the coordinator of the services, as the caretaker, is one to be the catalyst, to have the vision, and to bring others into that vision where they feel that vision supports them consistently, then we'll not have such exploitation.
Thank you all for joining us today. I'm hoping you're all feeling very, very inspired and touched by the different videos and different experiences shared by devotees. And we are hoping to see you this afternoon for the special session by His Holiness 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐿 Swami and His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Thank you all so much. We will see you again in the evening. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. This is the final schedule for this afternoon. Please don't miss out. We'll see you in the evening then. Hare Krishna.